Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to make sense of the paper trail of big business. Today we're diving into dMY Squared Technology Group Incorporated's latest report. Will they be firing on all cylinders or just sputtering along? Let's find out. And before we get into the nitty-gritty, if you love getting straight to the point insights from these corporate documents, make sure you subscribe. We also have a fantastic Discord community where we break down these filings even further, so check that link in the description below. Alright, so dMY Squared Technology Group Incorporated, a company that typically operates in the special purpose acquisition company space, has put out a current report. This isn't a deep dive into their quarterly financials like a 10Q, but rather an update on significant events. Think of it as a company hitting a major milestone or announcing a big change. The main story here is about a potential business combination. They've entered into an agreement for a business combination with Horizon Quantum Holdings, Pta Limited, formerly known as Rose Holdco Pta Limited, and Horizon Quantum Computing Pta Limited. Basically, dMY Squared is looking to merge with or acquire this quantum computing company. This is a pretty big deal, especially in the tech world where quantum computing is seen as the next frontier. To help explain this proposed deal, they've attached a presentation. This presentation is likely packed with details about the target company, Horizon Quantum Computing, and the strategic rationale behind this merger. It will probably lay out the vision for how combining these two entities will create value, what synergies they expect, and how they plan to grow together in the exciting but very complex field of quantum computing. Now, a big part of these filings, especially for SPACs, involves explaining the structure of the securities involved. Here, they've listed out the different types of securities dMY Squared has. These include their units, which are made up of a share of its class, a common stock, and half of a redeemable warrant. They also have the class, a common stock itself, and the redeemable warrants separately. For investors, understanding these units is crucial. A unit gives you a piece of the company now, and the warrant gives you the right to buy more shares later at a set price. In this case, each whole warrant is exercisable for one share of Class A common stock at an exercise price of $11.5. This is a common structure for SPACs, designed to attract investors by offering a potential upside through the warrants. The trading symbols are dMYU for units, dMY for the stock, and dMYU for the warrants, all trading on OTC Markets Group, Incorporated. It's also noted that dMY Squared Technology Group Incorporated is an emerging growth company. This means they qualify for certain regulatory and financial reporting accommodations under the law, often allowing them to delay adopting new accounting standards. This isn't necessarily good or bad, it just points to their size and stage of development as a company. This section is all about something called Regulation FD, which stands for Fair Disclosure. It is a rule by the Securities and Exchange Commission to prevent companies from selectively sharing important news with certain people, like analysts or big investors, before the general public. So when they say a presentation is furnished under Regulation FD, it means they are making that information available to everyone at the same time. They're being upfront and transparent about the information being shared in that attached presentation. This part really emphasizes the importance of the upcoming registration statement. This is a formal document that will be filed with the SEC, which will contain the full details of the business combination. It's like the detailed contract and prospectus for the deal. They're telling investors to watch out for this statement because it will have all the critical information needed to understand the transaction, what shareholders will be voting on, and what the combined company will look like. They are basically saying, don't just rely on this initial announcement, wait for the full official filing. This is a standard disclosure in merger and acquisition filings. It is essentially identifying who might be asking shareholders to vote for or against the deal. It includes the directors, officers, and other management of dMY Squared Technology Group, Incorporated, Horizon Quantum Holdings Pte Limited, and Horizon Quantum Computing Pte Limited. They want to make sure everyone knows who is trying to influence the vote and that information about these individuals and their interests will be available in the proxy statement. This is a vital section in almost every SEC filing. It is a warning to investors not to take future predictions too literally. Companies use phrases like expect, anticipate, or estimate to talk about what they think might happen. But the reality is, many things can go wrong. This statement tells you that these are just educated guesses and that the actual results could be very different due to lots of risks and uncertainties. They are essentially saying, we're hopeful, but don't bet the farm on these projections. This part highlights some of the major risks that could derail the deal or negatively impact the combined company. It points out that if there are any lawsuits related to the business combination, it could cause problems. Also, the failure to get shareholder approval or meet other closing conditions could stop the deal in its tracks. They are also very concerned about Horizon's ability to scale up its quantum computing business, and whether the quantum processor will actually deliver the advantages they expect. This uncertainty around the core technology is a significant risk. This is really interesting because it directly addresses a key risk for a quantum computing company. They are explicitly stating that there could be difficulties operating Horizon's quantum processor, and that it might not provide the advantages that Horizon expects. This is a significant red flag. Quantum computing is incredibly complex and still very much in its development phase. When a company admits up front that its core technology might not work as hoped, it signals a high level of uncertainty and risk for investors. This is another important legal disclaimer. They are making it clear that this report is not an advertisement or a request for people to buy or sell stock right now. It is also not a formal offer to sell securities. They're saying that any actual offering of securities will only happen through a proper prospectus, which is a detailed document that meets specific legal requirements. They want to ensure they are complying with all the rules regarding how securities can be offered and sold to the public. Finally, we get to the exhibits. The most significant one here is Exhibit 99.1, the investor presentation dated January 2026. This is where all the detailed information about the business combination will likely be laid out in a more digestible format than the legal text of the report itself. It should contain the strategic vision, financial projections, and key details about Horizon Quantum Computing. And at the very end, we have the signature section. This is where the company's authorized officers sign to confirm that the information in the report is true and accurate to the best of their knowledge. Harry L. Yu, who holds multiple key roles like Chief Executive Officer, Chief Financial Officer, and Chairman, has signed off on this report. This signifies the company's official acknowledgement of the information being filed. Now, let's put on our investor hats and look at the bigger picture here. dMY Technology Group Incorporated, a SPAC, is looking to merge with Horizon Quantum Computing. The big story is the potential leap into the nascent but exciting field of quantum computing. The risks are incredibly high, as explicitly stated in the filing. The core technology of Horizon's quantum processor might not perform as expected, which is a huge concern for any company in this space. If the quantum processor doesn't deliver on its promises, the entire premise of this combination falls apart. This isn't just a minor hiccup, it is fundamental to the business. However, if Horizon's technology does prove to be groundbreaking, the rewards could be immense. Quantum computing has the potential to revolutionize various industries, from drug discovery to material science and complex simulations. The potential for growth is enormous, but so is the uncertainty. In terms of direction, dMY is essentially banking on the future of quantum computing. Their strategy is to provide capital and a public market listing for a company with potentially disruptive technology. The success of this venture hinges almost entirely on Horizon's ability to overcome the technological hurdles and scale its business effectively. Looking at the broader market, quantum computing is still very much in its early stages. With significant investment from major tech players and governments, Horizon faces stiff competition and the challenge of moving from research and development to commercial viability. My overall assessment is that this is a very high-risk, high-reward proposition. The explicit mention of potential difficulties with the quantum processor is a serious point of caution. Investors considering this combination should be prepared for significant volatility and understand that this is a speculative investment in a frontier technology. The success will depend on deep technical expertise and execution by the Horizon team and dMY ability to effectively integrate and support that growth. There is no guarantee of future performance, and the historical record of management teams in this cutting-edge field is still being written. Alright, that is our breakdown of dMY Technology Group Incorporated's latest filing. What is your take on this quantum computing venture and what they're signaling for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.